in boxing. Man in boxing, led the Flair Cops. Shout out to Goodfellas Sports TV. Woo!
Make sure you guys check out my boy King Sound's new hip-hop and rap album, King Talk, available on all digital platforms of Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, the whole nine. The link will be in the description, and I'll post it in the comment section. Check it out. All right, man, let's talk a little bit about Canelo Alvarez. There's some news coming out about what his plans may be before, or, depends on how quick the coronavirus is over with. So let's get into it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. And yeah, Canelo Alvarez, if this thing goes on as long as people predicting, you hear like July, August, you hear out there in Santa Clara, they saying that they'd be happy to have football by Thanksgiving. If this thing goes on longer, then he probably just gonna fight Ryōta Murata in December, all right? So, I would guess he would be going over to Japan. That was the plan. They wanted him to go to the UK and fight Callum Smith. That's what the DAZN wanted him to do. He didn't want to fight Callum Smith, whatever reason that was. Don't know. Maybe, Smith maybe going to the UK just wasn't something he wanted to do. But the DAZN is trying to make him into an international star. So they trying to break ground in the UK with the DAZN UK. It was supposed to be versus Billy Joe Saunders. Obviously, Billy Joe Saunders got himself in a bit of trouble during the coronavirus with that video we talked about a week ago. So he's still in play, I would guess. But, it was talks about him fighting Billy Joe in July and then Triple G in October. That's what he was going to do. But now, if everything is scrapped, he might just fight Murata in December in Japan. So I don't know what they're going to do for the DAZN UK. I think the fight was supposed to be 5 pounds to kick off the platform, which I think they should have just gave away for free. But, 5 pounds really not that bad compared to what they paying for a pay-per-view fight, 25 pounds. But I don't think Billy Joe Saunders that big of a star over there. So, depends on what happens now. So, depends on how quick this thing goes. Usually when the weather heats up, you don't see a lot of flu and I can't speak on the corona, but flu and stuff of that nature. For people that don't understand that the cold, it amplifies or increases your chances of getting sick. So it's, germs spread faster in the cold, and people say, well, why is, in the hospital, they keep it cold? Because they don't want you, especially older people, they want you to die there. The hospital should be hot. You know what I'm saying? That's why you see when you go to kitchens, when I was in high school, or just getting out of high school, both, I was a dishwasher. So if the cold, kills germs, why is the dishwasher got to be to a certain temperature? So you got to wake your minds up when it comes to that stuff. They grimy, bro. All they do is want to charge you in the hospital, and then they want you to die there. Especially if you older people. That's why older people hate going to the hospital. So it depends on how long this stuff goes on. But as it heats up, and as we about to peak in cases in the United States, probably next week is going to be the peak. As we peak in cases, and I think they're going to decrease as the weather heats up, and, you won't see it around. But if they don't find a vaccine or a cure or find a way to suppress it for good, then you probably going to see that peak up as October, November, December get here, the fall, and then into the winter. So if people asking about that. So if this goes on into the summertime, I'm just saying you probably going to see Canelo versus Ryōta Murata in December. They said Canelo really want that fight. Like I said before, we was on a live yesterday, and Dre Berry said he's just tired of seeing Canelo fight. And yeah, he had his time. I'm tired of seeing it too. Unless he going to fight the Charlo brothers, Demetrius Andrade, David Benavidez, and I'll get to him in a second. Or Caleb Plant, I just don't care to see the dude fight. He's not an exciting fighter. Everything is tipped in his way. And that just lets you know how unfair boxing is. Amir Khan spoke on his gloves. And that's a problem in boxing in itself. All gloves ain't made the same, contrary to what you guys believe. The weight can be to the back of the fist. The weight can be to the front of the fist. And he just got every advantage going. He stacked his gloves. I mean, every advantage going for him. People talk about Floyd. Floyd didn't have every advantage, bro. Floyd wasn't putting, like Pacquiao, he did that shit too, had a lot of advantages. Probably something we didn't know about. But back in cold, Canelo may be done at middleweight after two fights. If the corona ended today, then he had 3 fights at middleweight, I heard. It kind of was a typo. I know it would be Murata, Triple G, he would fight him at middleweight. And I'm not sure who the third guy would be he would fight, but I think he only going to have 2 fights at middleweight when this is done. It's going to be Murata, Triple G, and then he probably move up and fight Billy Joe Saunders after that. And that's if Billy Joe Saunders still champion, not saying that he won't get stripped. If he don't get stripped, then you might look at maybe fight Callum Smith and he lose. Maybe fight a mandatory and he lose. Maybe fight Demetrius Andrade. Andrade was on live with Eddie Hearn like last week and said he'll move up to 168 to fight him. So Canelo is prepared to make a career at 68 after like 2 more fights at middleweight. And that's Murata and that's Triple G. I think he'll fight Triple G in the United States. But when you see Murata or Billy Joe Saunders, that's, Murata, and you might see another international guy he might fight. They sound like they taking Canelo on the road to get their money back, to turn a profit. And they're going to use him to break ground in other countries. They got the zone, the zone's going to be in Africa, UK, Japan. They even going to do it in Mexico, which I don't think it's going to fly because every champion in Mexico fight on free TV. That's how they become popular in Mexico. All the champions fight on free TV. That's how they get their following that they trickle over to, to the Mexican Americans. And I'm gonna get to that in a minute too. It's gonna be a good part. So I don't know how Mexicans feel about the zone UK. Let me know in the comment section how you dudes feel, man. People that actually live in Mexico, watch fights in Mexico, to pay for Canelo fight when you used to get it for free. I think that's a hard sell, but boxing keeps shooting itself in the foot. I think the first ever pay-per-view was at Holyfield and George Foreman. And I think that was when boxing I think that was one of the landmarks for boxing that took a turn for the worse. For the boxing fan to go pay 30, 40, 50 bucks, whatever it was at the time, to pay for fights. And now the main turning point, and I want to get off this topic, the main turning point for boxing was when it went from regular free TV and it went to HBO. That was one of the worst things that could happen because HBO over the years, even though it was popular and it did anywhere from 8 to 12 million or 10 million viewerships a Saturday, but once the stars, started to retire that came from free TV, slowly but surely, they didn't transfer from star to star. So those stars never really passed the baton to the next star, and it got weaker and it got weaker, and eventually had to get on. So when they took boxing off free TV and they took it to premium network television like HBO, and they took it to pay-per-view, those were the 2 worst decisions that happened in boxing. I was talking to my mom about that, and she said that was one of the stupidest ideas they ever came up with, and that ultimately killed boxing. You see with NBA, NFL at its peak, you don't see the NFL on HBO or Showtime, or the NBA on Showtime or HBO or Epix or whatever the hell they got now, Cinemax. You see it, the worst case scenario, you see it on NBA, TNT, ESPN. You see their best content on ABC. This came for college football, NBC, Fox, and back in the days, and you had it on different networks. So, just one of the reasons why boxing ain't thriving. But he said he'd never fight Jaime Munguia. He said right now he too young, but he don't want to fight no more fellow Mexicans. I remember I said that. It's gonna I ain't gonna blow your mind, but he said he don't want to fight no more fellow Mexicans, right? And he don't want to destroy Jaime Munguia's career. So I get it. Munguia ain't ready. He think he ready. He getting better technically with Morales. It's gonna take time. People, just taking his time. He was a prospect with a belt. Now he don't have a belt. Now he a prospect. So they got to clean some things up, some more things up with the kid. He getting better. He got to learn to be patient. His last fight, the reason he stopped using his jab, I just heard it through the grapevine, was that he hurt his hand. But when he uses jab and don't lead off with other punches, when he lead off with his jab, he a better fighter. You know what I'm saying? And he just got to get better, man. He just, believed his own hype after beating Sanam Ali, and he was stagnant. So, he got to work on head movement. He got to work on distance. He got to work on, keeping his hands up. He got to work on slipping, catching. So Morales is a good coach to get them together, man. So Morales to get them together, and I think he'll be world champion again. I don't see the middleweight division being too dangerous. The way Premier Boxing Champions treat their 54-pounders, that's going to be 60-pounders. The way they treat them, man, they don't keep them active enough. So all Jaime got to do is stay in the gym, live a clean fighter's lifestyle, keep Morales in his corner, and stay active, and then he gonna win. If he stay active, stay in the gym, keep getting better, he gonna have to drop on all them guys. You know what I'm saying? Because he gonna keep getting better. He younger, he gonna keep sharp, and you quite frankly, you can't live in the gym. You feel me? You can't live in the gym and not fight on a regular basis. You fight once, twice a year. To me, that's not enough. These fighters need to be on the 3 or 4 fight basis, because that's how you get better. But a lot of guys, it's too late for it. You have prospects fighting 7, 10 times a year at one point. And now you got the 30-year-old fighters whose body is probably running at its optimum, is running good, the best it's going to run with the physical and mental, and they're not getting better because they're not getting in-ring experience. Experience is life's best teacher, not in sparring. Sparring is a part of it, but just going in the gym and all they doing is cutting weight, and they not learning in the gym, and then you don't have the teachers in the gym no more like that. So a lot of fighters that could be better, with an active schedule, they not gonna be better. You see a lot of guys that's limited and skill level hasn't grown. So if Jaime stay in the gym, stay sharp, listen to Morales, stay active, go to work, keep him active, he gonna have to drop on all them dudes, man. But Canelo said, no, he don't want to fight another Mexican. He been saying that. He don't want to destroy the kid career. That is what it is. You gotta respect it, man. But that means Jaime just gonna have to get better, get his game up, and just get disrespectful with Canelo Alvarez. Now, here come the good part, the really, really good part. Canelo doesn't mind. He wants to fight David Benavidez. He doesn't consider David Benavidez a true Mexican. He considers him a Mexican-American, and he wants to fight David Benavidez. Now, we know he going to try to put the handcuffs on David Benavidez. You know what I'm saying? Now, as far as Caleb Plant, I didn't hear nothing about Caleb Plant. I don't know if that boat is shipped, but it didn't matter anyway, because Caleb Plant wasn't going to get the fight due to coronavirus. So I don't know if he's still open to fighting Caleb Plant. But I do know David Benavidez is probably they're not gonna let him fight Canelo Alvarez, not before they serve him up to Caleb Plant. You know what I'm saying? That's PBC marinating that fight again. When that fight should happen, neither one of them dudes is gonna be, some type of pay-per-view puller at 68. It ain't been too many great 68-pounders that's been very, very Sugar Ray Leonard-ish, Floyd Mayweather-ish at the box office, Tito, Oscar De La Hoya, Mike Tyson-ish. It's just not a division like that, and they trying to make it like that. But PBC is trying to make a way that they not capable of making. But when you look at when you look at Benavidez and Canelo, that's a good fight. Benavidez is a big kid. He blew up in between fights. There's another guy that's not gonna have a lot of longevity. They don't keep him active enough. He abuses his body in between fights. He blow up, but right now he young enough. Was he 22, 23 years old? He can get away with it. But the next 5 years is going to be critical for his career. You know what I'm saying? Because that's going to be his prime. If he's 22, 23, by 28, he probably him and Tank, the ones that's probably going to be a problem. Going to have a problem with weight. Because by him suppressing his body to make 68, he going to be a cruiserweight. Watch what I tell you. And don't be surprised if they throw his ass in heavyweight, because he draining his body. He not keeping his body in shape in between fights. From what I hear, they say this motherfucker get up to 220 or something like that. So the Canelo fight gonna be the highlight of his career. And I ain't mad at Canelo for taking the fight. Benavidez, a big kid, he gonna drain him, he gonna catch weight him, and that's my problem. Canelo, when is he gonna fight a motherfucker, without catch weighting him, without rehydration clause? Why don't you fight him at the weight, at the rehydration clause he had? That's why people look at resumes, man. That shit is overrated. They don't tell you everything you need to know about the fight. You know what I'm saying? Because he not fighting these dudes when they physically at their best. you know, the night of the fight. Even Amir Khan wasn't physically at his best because he came in 190 pounds, Canelo, that fight, Khan said. He wore horsehair gloves that fight. You know, and then he didn't even want to put a rehydration clause on it. Danny Jacobs, he put 2 of them on him. I mean, two. One for the weigh-in and one after the weigh-in. Danny Jacobs said, I was journeying. You got your ass whooped up. You know what I'm saying? You continue to look at Kovalev. Everybody know Kovalev took the swimming board dive. He put 2 or 3 he had a weigh-in, a weigh-in after the morning, a weigh-in before he got in the ring. So he made a weigh-in 3 times, bro. How can you respect somebody like that? I can't. Canelo been doing this shit, man. Chavez Jr., bro. Why not just fight him at 168 with no catch weight? 164 and a half. Why? You couldn't even stop or drain Chavez, but you can go up to 68 and stop Kovalev. It just don't make no sense. So with David Benavidez, bro, he better capitalize on that Canelo fight, bro. He better keep himself in shape because that's gonna be the highlight of his career, in my opinion, man. That's definitely gonna be the highlight of his career. I'm with it. Canelo don't consider him a real Mexican. I wonder what he think about Oscar De La Hoya behind closed doors. If he said, you know, he smoked a American Mexican, but he don't want to fight a fellow Mexican. So that make you just think right there. But hey, appreciate everybody for coming in. Give you the new news on Canelo Alvarez. Don't forget me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Or you can reach out to me there if you have a business question, inquiry, sponsorship, video request. All the links in the description to my social media. Want to make a donation? Cash App, PayPal, description. Best way to donate. Share the video one time for the one time we done.